So obviously we've introduced ourselves this morning. Yvonne Farron, the General Manager of Businet, and Greet Barzil, do I say your name? Barzila, the Deputy General Manager of Businet. And obviously I'm going to talk to you this afternoon about the Businet and what that actually means and what we do, but also share with you some of the Erasmus Key Action 2 projects that we're currently involved in. As I'm sure you'll agree, networks are a really great, effective tool for developing and disseminating projects and research in that area. So I'm just moving my screens up. Okay, so right. Yeah. So to give some context to the projects that we're working on and we develop, I just want to tell you a little bit more about Businet and what we do. So to showcase some of the opportunities that we offer to our members through the activities and how we formulate projects. My eyes are blurred, so I can't see it properly. Okay, so Businet, as I explained, is a global higher education network. Provides higher education establishments and their staff, industry and students with an effective vehicle for networking and a structure for cooperation. It was founded back in 1987 by a group of higher education institutes, business institutes, who were keen to develop a curriculum working group, and discussions happened between those in Belgrade in 2019 after the World Economic Forum had highlighted that mental health of entrepreneurs was a serious concern, and yet nothing had actually been done to think about the experience of entrepreneurs who make up quite a large proportion of our working population. Research presented at Davos actually showed that almost half of all entrepreneurs have suffered from at least one mental health condition during their lifetime, and they include ADHD, bipolar, and a range of addictive disorders. So naturally, as the focus of employment across Europe becomes more based on young people starting up, not going in traditional employment, but actually making start-up companies, we felt that this was something that had to be sustainable and a high priority. So about 8% apparently, according to Dell, 582 million people, which is almost 8% of the global population, have devoted their lives to entrepreneurship. So our project, and I state that this actually started pre-COVID, but as it started on the 31st of December 2020, which for me was a key date as a coordinator of this project, a British coordinator of this this Erasmus project. That was the date that we actually left the EU, and it has just completed. So this is the last project that I can actually coordinate. But I am obviously being part of the Businet Network is really important to me, because I can get to be involved in more projects and researching and creating materials that are not available so far. It's designed to provide practical and reflective learning materials that support young entrepreneurs to prepare them for the challenges of entrepreneurship. Our project partnership is made up of 2 small to medium enterprises, 3 universities, 2 associations and 2 social enterprises as well. And you can see the logos of them there. We did a lot of research. We surveyed groups of entrepreneurs, which was made more difficult because we couldn't actually meet with them face to face. And we've provided, throughout the project, we've written lots of reports and published articles on the project. And we've developed a range of toolkits. And the topics of the toolkits were generated by those things that entrepreneurs told us were not available in traditional education. And we provided them in formats that they told us they would find more accessible rather than the ones that traditionally HE provide for us. Resilience, self-reflection, mental well-being, time management, networking and reading the signs are our toolkits. We call them toolkits because people can dip in and dip out. It's non-linear, so people can go wherever they like and brush up, learn a lot or learn a little. And alongside that, we have a number of teaching cases as well. So these are things that can be used within the classroom, in higher education. And again, they don't relate to the topics, but they draw on the learning from the toolkits. So they're also there. And they're based on actual companies and issues that those companies and those directors of the companies have actually faced, and how they dealt with it, how they could have dealt with it, and what could have supported them along there. We've tested all of these materials in teaching and learning activities with students and with staff, so that we've adapted them, and hopefully, and we've also got an awful lot of video footage from entrepreneurs, which is, I would say, going back to this one, that we looked at the same thing: how can people best absorb this information? So we've got lots of entrepreneurs' videos of their experiences. So we've launched our learning platform, which is open 24 hours, completely free of charge, of course, because it's an Erasmus project, a European project. We've got all of our toolkits there, follow a similar format. We have theory, practical exercises and tips from real entrepreneurs about how they handle things, and the related teaching cases. Oops, sorry, I was supposed to press that. So everything's free. And this is the format that they all follow. Web address is there. Please share that information with everybody, because we would love, having done what we feel is a great job, we would love to have people's feedback. We would love people to actually use that. And then the final project is the one that I'm just going to quickly, because we're sort of running out of time, so I'm just going to run through this one again. Game for Change, as I mentioned, was the vehicle in which I became here. This is a project that is coordinated by TU Dresden. We've got 6 universities and also the Higher Education Network, and it covers 5 countries. Businet is the dissemination partner, but we were also approached by TU Dresden to find partners for this idea that they'd had, so we were involved in the development of the partnership as well. And the project is about developing a curriculum for playful learning in the next generation entrepreneurship. Again, it's a Erasmus Key Action 2 project, but we have all universities in this one because it's a cooperation partnership, and it's about harnessing those positive effects that gamification has been shown to have in education. So things like managing uncertainty, defining strategies for collaboration, competition with peers, which are all really useful and important management and leadership skills. Our objectives here to develop these skills within students. We have students involved in various things along the project time, so that we get cooperation from those 6 universities, and the outputs are going to be an actual course on next generation entrepreneurship. It's going to have 3 modules. Each module has 3 ECTIS points attached to it. In terms of, we talked about guidelines. We're going to have a toolkit, and this is the plan, to have a toolkit so that people can follow that methodology through to apply in their own classrooms. We'll have online learning platform where everybody will be able to find these materials, and we also have a teacher training programme, which, if I'm right, is in September actually, which we're testing out there. So that's our Game for Change project, which brought us into this network.
But first, if anybody wants to have the poster that we created, we've printed in A3 and A4, so I'll put it here. So
you can read a little bit more about it there.
Yes, and another question that we have on Digital Age Plus and Game for Change is that we need some proof that we have been disseminating the project, so we're going to have to do this. So everybody who wants to put their signature on it, that you were here and that we disseminated, it would be very helpful that we can use that as proof evidence.
So we'll collect those. We won't let you out before we've got those, so that'd be great. Do you want me to do this one quickly?
So this is it.
Yeah.
That's
okay.
So you do it and I'll go.
So obviously our network is been involved in quite a lot of projects, and we're developing new projects at the moment. We're waiting for applications to hopefully be successful at the moment, and they're all developed within the in the Businet network and in the working groups. And dissemination through networks such as ours and such as this is really important for any project, particularly European projects, because otherwise, without effective dissemination, a project dies. Hopefully not really, because the D for dissemination, impact is the I for impact. To get your project, the reason why you were given the money was to have an impact on education, so we need to make sure we have the impact and exploit the project, actually for it not to die at the end of the project, but actually be used out in education in the classrooms, in the universities, and for this project to be sustainable beyond the lifetime of the funding of that application. Oh, yeah, mentioned that. I'll put this up afterwards so people can scan it. We also have a Padlet, which you can have a look a little bit more about. About Businet there. I've got a sound there as well. Yeah, so we'll put that up. So we have a website, we have a Padlet, and you can speak to us afterwards as well. There we go.